and gentlemen, look down. You are standing atop miles, literally miles of bookshelves. Beneath your feet are millions of books that stretch 5 floors underground and extend out into this yard. They are part of the Harry Elkins Widener Memorial Library, standing tall behind you. Harry Widener was a great lover of books. So in 1912, he went to Europe on a book collecting expedition. Wanting to return to the US as fast as possible, he boarded none other than the Titanic. Sadly, he, along with the rare books he acquired, perished. His mother donated $2 million to have Widener Library built in his memory. But she was a bit skeptical that another rich donor would someday come and have the library changed. So she had one stipulation: not a brick, stone, or piece of mortar shall be changed. Since she refused additions to the outside face of the library, Widener had to be expanded deep underground to make room for its growing book collection. And for that reason, some have referred to Widener Library as the tip of the iceberg. This particular story has always stuck with me because of the unconventional direction of Widener Library's growth. It did not grow upward, it grew downward. If this library grew in proportion to its book collection, it could have been the tallest building on Harvard's campus. And yet, the grandeur of Widener Library is unseen to the outside world. Here at Harvard, where our dreams are big and our financial endowment is bigger, it became difficult to allow ourselves to grow in unconventional directions. We could only succeed in one direction: up. We raised our GPAs, accumulated extracurriculars, and secured internships. These successes were immediately apparent to our peers, employers, and graduate schools. There's an expectation that we will ascend after graduation. With a crimson H on our resumes, we will rise to the ranks of presidents, Nobel laureates, governors, Pulitzer Prize authors, and heads of state that Harvard has groomed for centuries. However, as we sit atop one of the largest collections of books in the world, we must remember that upward is not always the natural direction of growth. Success is not always visible. If we measure success internally, then that means the outside world will not see all our successes. And I am here to tell you that that is totally okay. It does not take away from their significance, their worth, their power to change the world. These last 4 years, I saw my peers value the successes that would not go on their resumes. I saw PBHA volunteers spend hours beyond their duty mentoring high school students. These varying successes were often an invisible force behind the world of our visible achievements, but they were necessary. They were self-defined. They mattered. The world will often reduce us to the sum of our external achievements. But just like Widener Library, they are just the tip of the iceberg. They are what the world sees, but not necessarily what the world needs. The world needs people who think tender thoughts, whose eyes softly illuminate when speaking of their careers, who leave the world better off than when they entered it. For most of us, doing so requires that we succeed in ways that are unseen to the outside world. So just remember, the glory of Widener Library does not stand in its towering pillars, but in the treasure that grew down beneath your feet. So let us go forth and grow in whichever direction that may be.